Hello and welcome to another Jet vlog. Thank you for watching as always. Had a little bit of a problem with the sound sync on the last vlog, so I'm hoping that my camera is better. But in other completely random personal news, I got a brand new digital camera this week. So one thing you should know, like Amazon for instance, I buy a lot of things on Amazon. There's certain things they won't ship to Japan though, and electronics is one of them. So I had to send it to my parents, who now live again in San Diego, and then they had to mail it to me. A small box, about, your typical Amazon style box with a camera in it, and they threw some magazines in there because I'm starved for magazines. Cost them about $40 to mail airmail, so it's getting expensive. Anyway, so I'm going to try that. The digital camera has a video camera function. I'm going to try that for some of my vlogs and see if that works better. But let's get right on to our topic for this vlog, and that is driving. Many of you have asked me about driving. So I did a whole video where I actually took you in my car and I drove from my house to school. So check that out if you haven't watched that yet. But let me tell you a little bit about what it's going to be like for you when you first get here. When you first get here, you obviously won't be able to drive right away unless you're one of those very rare jets who is provided with a car by your workplace. Some jets are given a car to drive to and from work, or from one school to another school if you have multiple schools. Most of us are expected to buy our own car. So usually what you are provided with, free of charge, is a bicycle. So, at 35 years old and considerably overweight, unfortunately, I arrived in hot summer Japan and was told that here's your shiny little grandmother bicycle with a basket on the front that you can use to go shopping and get to and from school and work. So when I first got here, with the heat and the change of diet, because there's no fast food, and the bicycling, I lost quite a bit of weight actually. It was kind of nice. But I soon tired of having to ride the bike. I would arrive at school literally like very, very sweaty and have to bring a change of clothes to immediately go to the male locker room and change. So I couldn't afford a car when I first got here, so I bought a scooter, which I actually highly recommend. If you're in an environment where, or if you feel safe on a scooter, as long as you have a driver's license from your home country, you can ride a scooter in Japan. Well, that's not entirely true. But if you have no license, if you come from, say, London and you've always ridden the tube and you've never had a driver's license, or you live in New York and you've always ridden the subway, you will have difficulty getting any kind of license here. Anyway, getting back, I bought a scooter. It cost me about $500. The helmet was about $100. Insurance was about $100. And so for about $700, I had a scooter. And, I owned it. Gas is obviously very, very cheap for it because it doesn't take much. Of course, it only goes about 35 kilometers per hour, which is like, 20 miles per hour, like top speed. It's not a very fast thing. But it got me to and from, and I used it for almost an entire year. It sucked in the rain because you got wet, but the same as you would on a bike. And in the snow, those few times it snows in this area of Japan, it was a little treacherous, but it was great. But I miss driving. I come from California, which is a driving culture, so I opted to get a car. Now, I'm not going to tell you my whole long story about the way I got my car. But needless to say, I bought a car. Well, okay, bought's not the right word. I got a car from a jet who was leaving to go home, and it turned out to not be a good car. Luckily, I didn't pay anything for it. But you can't just abandon a car in Japan or something. You can't even just take it to a dump. There's like a recycling fee, etc., involved with getting rid of any large mechanical object, such as a refrigerator or I don't even know. But a car is one of them. So luckily, some people at my Board of Education, one of the guys that works there, who, knew what I was going through, knew a car dealer in the local town, and he offered to lease me a car for $100 a month, which is an incredibly good deal, a cheap deal. And the guy that's leasing me my car is paying for this thing called Shaken. And when you get here, you'll find out about Shaken. It's this every other year, so biannual, fee that you have to pay. It's kind of like a smog check in the States. You have to take your car and it has to be basically approved for the road. And it's a big ripoff. It's a way for the Japanese automobile system to make you want to keep continually buying a new car. Because it's incredibly expensive, and the older your car gets, the more expensive this fee gets. Anyway, so that's another thing I don't have to worry about. If you buy your own car, you will be responsible, if you stay long enough, for Shaken. Be aware that if your predecessor, the person before you, emails you or something in the next few months and says, look, I have some things I want to sell you, and one of the things they want to sell you is their car, ask them. Say, okay, well, when is the next time I have to pay Shaken? How much is insurance for it? Ask them some of these questions. Because if they've just done Shaken and it's not due for another almost 2 years, then you can definitely stay your whole first year and you won't have to worry about it. If you stay more than that, then you will have to worry about it. But that's an important question. Let's see. So I got lucky. I didn't have to buy a car. You can usually buy a used car here for $2,000 or $3,000. It's not a lot of money, and you can get something decent. The Japanese take very good care of their items. But for me, that was a lot of money at the time, and this lease deal worked out fine. It's very rare, though. I've never heard of another jet getting it. So I'm lucky. There's two kinds of cars in Japan. There's a white plate and a yellow plate car. So that's another thing to ask if somebody wants to sell you a car. Is it a yellow plate or a white plate? A yellow plate means that the car has a smaller engine, is usually more gas efficient, but its top speed might be 85, 90 kilometers per hour, which is about 60 miles per hour. So you're not going to be gunning around anywhere very fast. Climbing up mountains sometimes will be a little slow. But sometimes tolls cost less if you're in a yellow plate, parking costs less, etc. So there are advantages to a yellow plate. I rarely drive more than an hour in any direction. And every road, as I showed in that other video, is one lane. So it's not like speed is a huge issue. The other kind of car is a white plate, which is what I have. It has a bigger engine, kind of a normal car, if you will. And, mine doesn't guzzle gas at all. It's a Mazda. It's very fuel efficient. But, be aware that there's two kinds. Okay, well, I thought this one might run two parts. So in the second part, I'm going to tell you about my driver's license and how to get one. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about other things you need to know about driving. So hopefully you found this first one helpful, and look for part 2 probably tomorrow. Okay? Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.